So, my name is Derek Dallas, and I'm with the Understanding Project, and we're going to be interviewing and getting individuals' takes on what's going on in our society today. So, first of all, I'd like to ask you, tell us a little bit about yourself, if you would, please, sir.
So my name's Scott Faile. I'm 48 years old. I currently live in Gainesville, Georgia, where my wife and I have a few little clothing stores, little local boutiques, and that she runs. And I've been in management with a large company for 23 years now. So moved around a little bit. That's how I ended up in Georgia. I'm originally from Alabama. I grew up pretty much my entire, from the time I was born until the time I got out of high school. I spent most of my time in the same little community in rural Alabama. Our high school graduated probably around 100 kids per year, and on the average year, 98 to 99 of them would be white.
Okay, gotcha. So, since you started talking about where you grew up, let's take it a little bit further. So, what was your family life like as far as parents, sisters and brothers, family dynamics? Give us a little background there.
All right, so I had one brother who was 2 years younger than me. We were very involved in sports and stuff like that. My parents were very involved in everything that we did. We would spend like all day Saturday, every Saturday at the ballpark, playing baseball and hanging out. My dad was very involved with the park. He was on the park board and all that type of stuff. So we were there all the time. And of course, my friends, that's where I made my friends, was there. Kids that were also involved in baseball and sports. And we would hang out all day at the park and all that type of stuff growing up. My parents, I thought, had a really good marriage and seemed to get along well. They kind of kidded each other and poked at each other and had a lot of fun and stuff, growing up. And then all of a sudden one day when I was about 15 years old, I, for the first time, ever heard my parents yelling at each other. And I was up the street and with a neighbor, and I could hear my parents yelling at each other. And as I was walking back down the driveway to see what was going on, my brother came running up the driveway and was just, bawling, said they were getting a divorce.
Wow.
So
that had to be.
So yeah, that kind of changed things.
Mm-hmm.
Quite honestly, I took advantage of the situation to kind of gain some extra freedom and be able to kind of do what I wanted to do and that kind of stuff. And that led to me being a little bit of a wild child when I was younger.
Okay. So after high school, can you give us a little timeline after high school up to your family life currently?
So after high school, I immediately went to work at the Birmingham Waterworks and started going to school at night at a little local community college. That only lasted about one semester because I really wasn't interested in school. I was just doing it because I felt like I was, I should give it a shot.
Okay.
Then my series of bad decisions continued, and I ended up um, moving away, and I moved to Huntsville, Alabama, and got on with a little tire shop there and worked there for a while, and it was probably the first real exposure I'd had to a lot of diversity because I didn't have a whole lot of money, so I got an apartment kind of on the poor side of town, and I was right across the street from the projects. Well, I love basketball, so every day when I'd get home from work, I'd walk across the street to the projects, and I'd be the only white guy there playing basketball. And I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. So.
Wow.
But yeah, so I really never ended up finishing college. I eventually moved back home and lucked into starting to date a girl that I'd had a crush on in high school. And about a year later, we were married and had a child on the way. And, life was coming at me pretty fast.
Right. Wow. So you've had a lot of interesting experiences and twists and turns and very interesting.